Hi everyone, this is the 5th and 6th grade assignment for August 30th through September 11th. We will be making these sugar skulls inspired by artist Frida Kahlo, who is this sugar skull over here, and her husband Diego Rivera. For this assignment, you will obviously need a pencil, some paper, either colored pencils or crayons, whichever you prefer. I'll be using my colored pencils, so I also have my pencil sharpener out. And to do this black outline, you would want to have a black Sharpie marker or another thin-tipped marker, but the outline is not necessary. It just makes the picture look a little better. So I'm going to show you how we make this picture. The first thing we want to do is we want to draw the shape for the skulls. So you will want to have kind of this big bulge shape at the top, and that will be the top of the skeleton's head. Then you go down with kind of a rectangle shape for the jaw of the skeleton. And since we're doing Diego and Frida, you're going to go in next to it and do the same thing. A bulge and a rectangle. So they kind of have necks and a little bit of an outfit there. So for the neck, I kind of just did different shapes for like the bone part. So if you do a rectangle, kind of a circle, maybe a smaller rectangle, then you have to give him a little triangle for kind of his chest area that will not be covered by his shirt. And then give him his shoulders coming down. And then we're going to do the same thing over here on Frida. We're going to give her some rectangles or circle shapes for her neck. Again, give her a triangle for where her shirt will not be covering, and then she gets some shoulders. And those are your skeletons. Now we need to put the eyes on the skeletons. So you can see from the one that I've done earlier that there are different little designs and different colors for the eyes. So I would just start by giving each of your skeletons 2 circles. And then now you get to decide what kind of shapes you want to put in there. So I really like this kind of zigzag jagged edge that I have. So maybe pick one eye on each of the skeletons to put that little zigzag if you want to do a zigzag like that. So I'm going to do his left eye. Well, I guess that's my left. I guess it's his right. And just little triangles around there. And I think I'm just going to do a smaller circle for the color of his eye and a little one for the pupil. And that's what I'm going to do for that eye. And his other eye, I think I'm going to do a swirl. So you have to go in one way with your pencil and then trace along to give it that other shape. And then all eyes need a pupil, so I'm going to give him a pupil right in the center there. And I think that's all I'm going to do for Diego's eyes. So over here on Frida, I'm going to give her, I'm going to do the same eye on her for the zigzag. So it's just lots of triangles. And what you hear behind me is my cat laying on all my papers behind me. You'll probably hear him in a lot of my videos. So we have zigzags around. Then I'm going to give that eye also the swirl coming in. The same thing, you have to double up on the swirl and give it a pupil. So for the other eye, I think I'm going to do what I've done on this eye here and do a little diamond for the pupil. So give her a circle and a diamond. And there are their eyes. For noses, you want to do an upside down heart. So I start with the point, do one loop, and the other one. Start with the point, loop, loop. And for a skeleton mouth, they're very simple. It's just a line with, I don't know, like 3 or 4 lines coming down. A line, and then 4 lines. So a big thing is to give Frida her hair up here. So to do her hair, I started on the actual skeleton and kind of just brought in and did about like the center there so that she can have a part in her hair. So kind of how I have the center here. Then I started a line down that way and brought the hair down. And she would wear her hair in a bun often. So that is just kind of a little hill on top of her head. And then you can give Frida kind of whatever little accents you want. So I gave her some big hoop earrings on this one, but I think on this one, I'm just going to give her some big pearl earrings. Some big pearls, and she kind of has like this little headdress here and a flower in her hair. So how I did that flower is I started with a circle for the center of it, and then just kind of like this little kind of football leaf shape on all of the sides. So I did 6 petals. Now we're gonna have to go in and erase where it overlaps. I'm gonna take my eraser and kind of where we put the flower, get rid of some of the lines in there because the flower is not see-through. And then fix up some of those lines. All right, there's our flower, and you can add any little designs you want. So on this one, I did a swirl in the middle and then just some triangles on the petals. But I think I'm just going to do like some polka dots on the inside part and then maybe like just a line in each petal. And there's our flower. I don't really have room for a big headdress like I put on her on this one, but I can kind of show you a small version. So I just kind of started with like just a curve across at her hairline, like in between her eyes and her hair. And then I gave her, you could give little loops. And then once you color it, that'll be all pretty. Down, let's give her a little bit of accents on her shirt. So I gave her just another V shape there so that she can have a little collar. And then she often wore a pearl necklace. So if you want to put some circles on there to give her her pearl necklace, and maybe if you want, if you want to give her a pocket over here, or I put a little flower on her there, but that's up to you if you want any little designs. So coming over here to Diego, I gave little designs. Sugar skulls have a lot of designs on them. So if you want to put maybe some circles or some swirls, or I think I'm just going to do some circles coming around here. And then we'll finish that off with a swirl and a swirl coming that way. And Diego wore a hat a lot, so there's a hat on this skeleton. So for the hat, I kind of did like the curved part first, sitting on his head, and then just a little hill on top. And same thing with Frida's flower. We have to erase anything that the hat was overlapping. And for his shirt, I kind of gave him like this a little collar. So they're just a triangle, another triangle, 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 and then I gave him a tie. So that was just a bigger triangle. And I gave him a pocket on this one, but I don't think I'm gonna do that here. And since, you know, they're married, so I'm gonna put another heart in between them. And there we go. And then after that, this is where you would get your colored pencils or crayons and start coloring. So I need to move this a little bit closer to me, but I will try to make sure that you can see the coloring, and I'm going to speed this up because you don't really need to see me coloring the whole time, but the video will be there. And you can choose any colors you want, so don't think that you have to pick whatever I pick. And there is my fully colored picture. So when you get to this point, you could be done, or it'll look a little nicer if you outline all of your pencil lines with a black Sharpie. If you look at the difference between the one that I have outlined and the one I have not outlined, you can tell that the outlined one looks a lot better. So remember, with a Sharpie marker, you want to be very gentle with them. You don't want to color anything in with it. You just want to go over all of your pencil lines. Fully outlined and finished Frida Kahlo's Sugar Skulls picture.